The more I found out about like Canada, I found out that it's like very similar to the US. Firstly, of course, the safety is Canada is a bit more like safe, but I spend most of my time on my US essays. And then I just took the US essays and just like pasted it into the Canada application. It's very hands-on like style compared to like other countries. So I actually applied for the co-op program, which allows me to have a 1 year internship. That it comes with my course. So while like learning about engineering and like robotics and stuff, I figured out there's like this like field of engineering called social robotics. Yeah, for the video assessment, it's quite weird actually. So yeah, I got asked a museum is with multiple floors is trying to place water dispensers around the museum equally. What are the three questions you would ask to make sure that the water dispensers is equally balanced throughout the museum? So when you apply, you are under consideration for the scholarship early immediately.
Hi everyone, my name is Henry, and so welcome to Coffee Chat. So today we are having like our guest speaker, Ryu, to talk about like application to Canada University, and then like some of the processes that he has been gone throughout the whole application process. So firstly, I'll just let Ryu to introduce himself. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Ryu. I'm half Japanese, half Chinese, and I applied to University of Toronto, and I got in for mechanical engineering. And I'll be starting this year in a few months. Actually, I'll be flying off in a few
Yeah,
weeks. Sorry.
in a few weeks.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so I think we just straight into the point. It's like Ryu, why did you decide to apply to Canada in the first place?
Um, so I've originally like decided that I want to go to the US because I like the US educational system compared to the UK. But Canada was never really in my like scope of schools I wanted to apply to. But the more I found out about like Canada, I found out that it's like very similar to the US, but it also has some UK like aspects to it. So like the just idea of being able to take like minors in something that is not related to my course. Like for UK, if I go to the UK, I'll have to just study engineering, like engineering based like maths and physics and stuff. But then if I go to the US or Canada, more I get to like do like I can learn like Spanish if I wanted to. I can learn like psychology. So that really like sparked my interest. And then between the US and Canada, I actually at first wanted to go to US more, but then I decided that Canada, firstly, of course, the safety is Canada is a bit more like safe, but that's like a small reason. But then also like the overall like the schools in Canada is not that bad as well. And yeah, I got into Toronto and UBC, but I chose to go to Toronto. Yeah.
Okay. So maybe before like we delve into the question of why you decide Toronto instead of UBC, maybe we can just talk about like what is the course of study that you want to study, and then like why you are
Yeah.
so interested about your study. Yeah.
My course. Yeah. So I chose to do mechanical engineering. I actually applied for engineering undeclared at Toronto,
Mm.
but I didn't get the choice. So I got mechanical engineering instead. So I wanted to do engineering because I actually did a lot of volunteering when I was younger at this daycare for children with learning disabilities. And I began like getting interested in that aspect of like volunteering. And then also engineering, I've while like learning about engineering and like robotics and stuff, I figured out there's like this like field of engineering called social robotics,
Mm.
which is not very like prominent or like not very looked at that often. Uh, and the more I researched about it, the more I found out like most of the social robot. It's so basically sorry, I didn't explain what social robotics is. Social
Mm.
robotics is like people make robots to help children with learning disabilities, like that let the robots interact with the children so that they're more comfortable, they're more open to learning with the robots. Yeah, and it helps them with social cues and all that, all the aspects of like interacting with people. And most of the social robots that I looked at, Most of them are very expensive. So like the places that I volunteer at, they're like not they're not like a big organization, so they can't
Mm.
afford to supply their like children or like the students there with a social robot. So I was hoping to be able to make something and maybe bring it back to Malaysia and like to that specific volunteering center and like let them try and use it and like them interact with it. Hopefully, it will make it like easier for them to learn social cues and all that. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, so Rio, since you talk about like social robotics and then do you think the engineering system or engineering courses offered at Canadian University will actually like offer you a great chance to get a lot more exposure to this kind of social robotics?
Canada has a lot of internship and robotics. It's very hands-on like style compared to
Mm.
like other countries. So I actually applied for the co-op program,
Mm.
which allows me to have a 1 year internship that it comes with my course. So technically, I will be in Canada for 5 years. So because the core program is actually really interesting. It's only like it's specific to Canada. So I actually get to have my 4 year study course, and then like I think it starts from the second year, but whenever I like during the second year, I can like have 3 months off studying, so I won't be studying at all. And then though I can apply for an internship and work during that 3 months or how many months I want. And then the third year I can do it again. And then so it'll add up to having a 1 year internship. Yeah. So the internship I get to choose where I want to go, but
Mm.
I have to apply myself, so I have to work for it. And then I hope to be an intern at somewhere that does robotics, like social robotics and stuff. So that would be interesting for me to like experience that in Canada.
Mm, yeah, I totally agree. I feel like maybe some country they are more emphasizing on the theoretical part. Is that you're
Yeah.
understanding like the how you derive
UK.
some formula. Yeah, how they are more prioritizing on like the theoretical. But I think like what is more important basically is about like application, right? It's
Yeah,
like how you
definitely.
actually apply that in your real life, so you are able to actually solve the problem that arises in your career
Yeah.
in the future, like that. So
Yeah,
I feel like.
because taking theory to practical is quite hard actually if you don't have like the experience. So I think it's good that these schools are preparing us for it.
Yeah, and then it will be kind of too late if you like only do that after you
Yeah.
graduated because everybody
Yeah.
is already equipped with the application skills, and then you are
Yep.
still learning.
Yep. Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Okay, so I think there is one special about Canadian like university system is like
Yeah.
they are more on like hands-on experience and then they are more prioritizing
Yep.
on application, right?
Hmm.
I think like that is
Yeah.
very suitable for those who prefer like learning through application, and then this is the place that you can consider with. But if you are somebody who are like more keen on understanding the theoretical part of it, and
Yep.
then you can opt for other choices like the UK university, which are more prioritizing on this style.
I think those like research, the people want to go into research, all that. I think
Mm,
UK is a very good like choice. But
mm,
like if you want to be like an engineer or like because most engineers have to like hands-on experience, learn how to build it. So I think it's good to like apply to US and Canada, these places where it's more
mm.
hands-on. So
Yeah, yeah, agree. And then like since Canadian offer this kind of like very different way of like education. So do you mind like actually telling us or like just share a little bit of like how you apply to the university from the first time that you start your application and then when
yeah.
you get your result and then yeah when you need to respond back. Yeah.
Yeah. So Canada is pretty simple compared to US. So if you're applying to the US, you already have like the set of essays that you've written for your Common App and the UC prompts. So the questions for Canada is more or less similar. So you can if you already have the essays, you can just copy paste it or like change a bit of it to suit the Canadian schools. So basically there are two systems. There are two like portals that you use to apply. There's one called Edu Planner BC and the other one is called OUAC.
Mm.
So OUAC is for Ontario schools. So it'll be like Toronto, um, Waterloo, and all those are like good schools. And then Edu Planner is mostly for University of British Columbia.
Mm.
Yeah, and other schools in the Vancouver, British Columbia area. So for Edu Planner, it's a bit more complicated. So first you write a personal profile. So it's a few essays about yourself. So like tell us about who you are, how would your friends and family describe you, and also like what is important to you and why, and and extracurriculum, like describe your extracurriculum activities. So yeah, that's more or less, it's more similar to the US application for that one. And then for the OUAC one, it's surprisingly simple. For like schools like Toronto, Waterloo, they just require provide your details, a brief description of your extracurriculums, and then a video assessment, which is like a 5 minute video assessment. That's it. So the application is really simple. So yeah, for the video assessment, it's you don't have to really worry about it. You can't really prepare for it. It's quite weird actually. So um I got asked, a museum is with multiple floors is trying to place water dispensers around the museum equally. What are the three questions you would ask to make sure that the water dispensers is equally balanced throughout the museum? Something like that. And then you just come up with an answer. Like you just say anything you want, and then I don't think there's any wrong answers. Yeah,
Mm.
you just want to see how you think, I guess.
Mm.
And then the general, what is one time you went above and beyond to help someone? Yeah, so it's pretty simple. So yeah, the timeline for the application is actually similar to the US ones, but for me personally, I spent like less than a month on the application for Canada, which you guys shouldn't do because you
Mm.
should like take your time and like spend time looking through your essays. But I spent most of my time on my US essays. And then for I just took the US essays and just like pasted it into the Canada application. Yeah. So I started my Canada application mid-November with like filling up details and stuff. And then only started like the filling up the essays in December, and then submitted my application mid-December. Yeah. Yeah. So
Mm.
I didn't really spend that much time on it.
Mm.
Yeah. And where for the like results of like if you go into the universities, they don't really give you, it's not like the US where they give you a specific date and like
Mm.
all the IVs come out on this day. But they just give you like a last date where they will give you the offer, and then they'll randomly just email you an update on your portal or one on those days, or like any day before that. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Okay.
I actually got my UBC offer, and then like it was already pretty late to like the offer date, so I was like not hopeful for Toronto. And then like randomly I just got an email and I was like, oh, okay, that's nice. And I was like, okay, yeah. So
Mm.
it's quite, yeah. Don't be too like anxious if you don't get it like early. It'll be fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like I think the most important thing is to just follow the flow.
Yeah.
So like don't need to over stress yourself about thinking something that you can predict, especially like when the result will coming out, right?
Mhm.
So you just like follow the flow, and then if that is the thing that belongs to you, it will comes to you at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't need to over stress yourself, right?
Yeah. No need to panic if you don't get it like early, or like all your
Mm.
friends get it already. Don't need to
Mm.
like stress about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and
Yeah.
another thing is like about the interview question that you mentioned just now, that you say there's
Yeah.
this kind of like very quirky and weird questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like do you mind sharing like how you actually answer that interview question during your time?
Um, I actually I did some research on the like interview because I was like
Mm.
wondering I was hoping that there'll be like people who've been through the interview and like write about it.
Mm.
So there's not much about it online, but I saw the similar question like that on a Reddit forum. So I thought about the questions before. So I just said like I'll ask for the area of the museum,
Mm,
and then I'll ask for the number of floors,
mm,
and then yeah, I can't remember what the last one I put was, but yeah, I did know about the question or something like that beforehand, so that was
mm.
good. Lucky.
Okay. Yeah, about the question, right? Did they give you time to think, or you need to like immediately just like throw
Yeah,
your question?
they give you, I think, 1 minute, if I'm not mistaken, or
Mm.
30 seconds. Yeah, to think,
Ah.
and then you can answer. Yeah.
And then also about including the responses, right? Do limit you the time that you can give your responses on, is it?
Yeah, you only get for the longer questions, I think you get 1 minute-ish. I can't remember, sorry. It
Mm,
was a
mm,
while back, but it was around there. Yeah.
mm, mm,
The video is actually pre-recorded. Yeah. So it's not live. So you don't have, it's not like that stressful. So like
mm,
they just send you like a link, and then it will just be a video of them asking the questions, like a recorded one. And then you turn on your camera, and then they'll like put three, two, one, and then you record your answer. It'll be, so it's like pretty chill. So you
mm.
don't have to, it's not that, yeah, stressful,
Yeah,
which is
agreed.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like people are having this kind of misconception that like everything about assessment, it will take like a lot of like your time, and then like people will just like,
Preparation. Yeah.
yeah, people will just like, okay, I don't want to do that. But like
Yeah.
just what Ryu say is like this is a pretty short interview, and then like don't over stress, because I feel like they are more towards challenging your creativity that you
Yeah.
can't actually like prepare beforehand. It's like what you can think of during that spot. So yeah,
Yeah.
you don't need to
They
afraid about that.
mostly ask like questions like that you already have the answers to. You just
Mm,
have to like phrase it and think about it a bit. Then you should
yeah.
be able to answer it without any problems. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like
Ag-
any, they don't ask you any like hard maths, like you have to prepare, like yeah, stuff. So it's okay. Pretty okay.
mm. Okay. What about the essay like that you mentioned just now? Like, do you mind sharing what kind of thing that you include the essay that you think
Mm,
that reflect you as a person?
For my essays, I actually just use my US one, so I'll just tell you like my US the essays. Yeah. So basically, for my essays, I wrote about my extracurriculums,
Mm,
music like guitar, and also yeah, I wrote about guitar, music, and then karate,
mm,
and then also like some other computer science like extracurriculums.
mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's basically like a mixture of what you want to study and then what you are interested in, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm. Okay,
And
okay.
then yeah, I included the social robotics part into my yeah essays as well.
Yeah, I think about the essay, I'm sure there is a pretty much essays that is available like online as your references, and then like how you're going to
Yeah.
structure everything. So
Yeah.
probably you can just like yeah go through there and then to see like which writing style is the thing that you love, and then which structure is the part that you love, and then maybe you can modify from there.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, so about the Canada application, like did they actually like offer scholarship or financial
Yeah.
aid to international students?
Yeah. It's actually really cool, the Canada application. You get, you apply for the schools, right? So once you apply, you don't need to give any extra details, any extra information.
Mm,
When you apply, you are under consideration for the scholarship already, immediately. So no
mm,
extra details, no extra essays. You're straight in, included into the scholarship, like the, yeah, scholarship, a group of people get scholarship.
mm,
So I actually got a scholarship for UBC. It's actually pretty what do you call it? They're pretty generous with the scholarship. Yeah, even they give like you can like money to buy electronics, whatever electronics you need, and then also
mm,
like a few thousand, quite a few thousand Canadian dollars for their first term.
mm,
Yeah, so it's pretty nice. Even for the Ontario schools like Toronto and stuff, they also provide scholarships by just applying normally. So, but I didn't get any, unfortunately. But they also have the like in-school scholarships. So during like your school term, when you study, if you do well on like a course, they also sometimes provide you with scholarship. So I'm also planning to get that if I can.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
that's really nice.
Yeah, yeah, I see. So, if that's the case, then maybe really do you want to share like why U of T instead of like UBC or other schools?
Um, yeah. So UBC and U of T is they are like ranking wise, I would say
Mm.
Toronto is higher a bit. But my main reason was that Toronto is like the small city center. And then it's
Mm.
like when I do my internship, I felt like because UBC also gave me co-op, like the internship thing.
Mm.
So I felt like, of course, I could from UBC, I could have internship in Toronto and stuff. But like I thought it would be easier if like if I'm in Toronto, U of T, I can just get an internship in Toronto. It would be like much more like better opportunities in Toronto. And also, I'm pretty sure U of T is more international compared to UBC. So that was a very nice thing that I wanted to be more a part of. Yeah.
Mm.
And yeah, the just the opportunities in Toronto I thought was better compared to
Mm.
UBC.
Mm.
But
Do you
of
agree?
course, UBC has better weather. That's the
Yeah,
downside.
true.
Yeah. Toronto is very cold.
I mean like the weather is something that you need to consider, but it shouldn't be like your top
Yeah,
priority.
of
Yeah,
course.
it should be like
That's
something
true.
that is like maybe miscellaneous. Mm,
Hmm.
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe you can talk about like if you can actually turn back time, like what will you do differently for your application?
Hmm. For my application,
Mm,
it's cheesy, but I would say nothing. But
mm,
yeah, because I don't know, it was really tough for me. I had a few mental breakdowns and midlife crises.
mm,
But it actually like helped develop me and like taught me how to be like stronger and like be more independent.
mm,
So that yeah, I wouldn't really want to take like change that. And at first, I was pretty sad because I applied to quite a few US schools and I didn't get most of the offers. But I was pretty satisfied now with like Toronto and stuff. So it all works out. So yeah. And
mm,
also, I would say that the I've been pretty like fortunate with like all my like past like education stuff. Like I did well for IGs. I got into KYUM, and then yeah, I did well for AS. And then so like I had like a pretty high like bar of like, oh, I was like pretty confident that I'll probably do well in like uni. And when I didn't get like my US like high school like a very good school offers, I was pretty sad. And then yeah, so that like taught me that not everything will go like your way, which is good to learn. And I'm really glad that I got to like experience that, and it taught me that. Yeah,
Yeah, I kind of agree with what you mentioned. It's like not everything belongs to you, and then it
yeah,
is good. So you were like always looking for improvement. Why you're not getting this one? Is it
mhm,
like because you're not good enough, or because you're not fit into that thing, or like that thing is not suitable for you? Yeah.
yeah,
So it's okay that maybe when we are like just putting effort, you have the expectation of getting something back, but at the end, if you didn't get any, it's totally fine. And then just follow the flow, and then eventually, like what belongs to you will come to you.
yeah,
Mm. Okay, yeah. So as a closing remark, like Rio, do you have any like advices that you want to give it to your student or to other that are going to do the same thing? Yeah.
yeah. Um, One very important thing is to apply for your visa very early.
Mm,
So Canada doesn't really have a visa, especially if you're Malaysian.
mm.
So those people, those Malaysians here, if you if you do your visa like like 1 month before, you're not getting your visa definitely. It
Oh
took mine
my.
around 2 months. So
Oh.
the reason is Canada doesn't really have a visa doesn't have a visa in Malaysia.
Mm.
It's actually so you have to send your passport to Singapore to do your visa, and then it will be sent back. And then the communication between like the embassy is very bad. So you actually should do it once you like get your offer, and you know you want to go to Toronto. Do it straight away. It's like no harm. Yeah.
Mm.
So that that was really stressful. Like waiting for my visa, and I just got it like a few days ago, and I
Oh.
did it 2 months ago. Yeah, and I'm flying off in like 1.5 or 2 weeks. So it's
Mm.
very last minute, but I did it
Yeah.
2 months ago. So just be careful with that. Yeah, and that's mostly yeah, yeah. But the other like application stuff, do it early, and but the application is pretty simple. But don't make sure you don't underestimate the application process. Still
Mm.
do it early. Make sure you get all your information, details, and check your emails. Because the
Mm.
school send a lot of like spam emails, or sometimes in the spam also there are some important information.
Mm.
Sometimes I missed a few, so and then they had to send like a urgent reminder to like submit this document. So make sure you check your emails. Yeah, that's about it.
Mm. Yeah, I think about the email thing is like very, very important because I have like
Yeah,
one friend who forget to check her interview, but at the end like she actually missed her one of the university interview because like they reach out to you through like personal account and then through Gmail or email. So people
yeah,
the system itself will automatically like put it as like a spam account or like
yeah,
a junk file to like notify you. So it's very important that you always check your um email to see, oh, is there any update from Singapore? And then it will be better for you. Yeah. And
yeah,
then the next thing is like start everything early because like I feel like it doesn't really advisable for you to like just put a lot of things at the end because
yeah,
yeah, I know like some people might love like putting things at the end and then they kind of say like, oh, I will just like chill now, and then like I will do everything at straight one go at the end.
yeah,
Yeah, but I don't think it works, especially for university application. Yeah, and
yeah,
then including like getting your visas. As long as you feel that is something important and then you can do it right now, then just like go ahead and do it. You need to like wait, you know, wait
yeah,
here and there because it will like make all the process more complicated and then more like lengthy. It's not more convenient.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Mm. Okay, yeah. So, real, maybe like just a last question is like, is there any future plans that you're having right now?
Um, right now, as of now, I'm just enjoying my time in Malaysia and
Yeah,
hopefully dreading leaving. Yeah, I know you just went to the US recently, and
yeah.
how's your experience there so far?
I feel like people are having this kind of misconception. They're like, people here is very, very competitive. And then like
Mm,
they are like okay outgoing of course but at the same time they are like very self-centric and then they are like very busy very
mm,
like this kind of like typical American stereotype but when I
yeah,
come here it's like everybody is very very friendly because I'm only here for about like 2 to 3 days and
yeah,
then today is my first day meeting them like in person so
mm-hmm,
they are like all very friendly and then they are willing to start the conversation and then like just like introducing like where they are from and then like just having a conversation from there so
mm,
I believe that the golden rule is just like um when you're having plans and at the same time like follow the flow. It's not like everything will actually goes according to what you plan. For example, for me, I just plan that I want to do this, do that. At the first few days of orientation. But when I come here, it's like everybody is like so keen on engage with each other, and then like we spend a lot of time
yeah,
like knowing each other. So it caused a lot of plans that you plan doesn't really work
mm,
so for me, I'll just like follow the flow and then to see like where it brings me to, and then like just enjoy the process. I guess.
yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah,
Hmm.
that sounds fun.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think that is the main thing that we want to like let people know. It's just like have plans, but at the same time follow the process, follow the flow, and anything
yeah,
you can do, just like prepare it early instead of like putting it at the back.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that is all for this interview. So really thank
Yeah,
you so much to you for spending your time with us today
yeah.
and then to share a
No
lot of like
worries.
yeah, to share a lot of like Canadian application experiences and journey. And then I hope that if you guys are considering applying to the Canada, this podcast or this video will be very helpful to you. May either just to like help you to confirm that oh Canada is a place that I want to go to, or you feel like this okay this is not something that I want to consider more, and then you can just go for other options. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And
yeah,
yeah, if anyone wants to apply to Canada and they want to talk to someone, feel free to reach out to me. I'm totally like down to this message. Yeah, I'll
yeah,
call. Yeah.
yeah, and then we'll put a reuse email at the description box if you're okay with
Mm.
that. So they can
Yeah, yeah,
just reach yeah, so they
definitely.
can just reach out to you through email, and then you can just give them some guidance and advices.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that is all for this interview. And then thank you so much for listening, and then hope you have a nice day. We'll see you guys in the next episodes. Bye.
Bye bye.